Hi everybody, happy Friday. I hope you had a good week and that you'll be having a great weekend. It's going to be a little chilly here, but it's going to be a fun weekend anyway. So, last night I was playing with a new little toy. Not a toy, but a jewelry maker. This is called the Bracelet Rainbow Loom, and it's for bead weaving. And it's a beginner's bead weaving loom, which is what I need because I'm just learning. And I got this on Bead, and I will link their site down below. If you click on more under the video, the site will be linked down there. But I was testing it out last night, and I made this little bracelet, which I think is really pretty. Doesn't quite fit me because I messed it up and had to cut it a little bit short. But that's what it was look like on. And it's got a little button closure, so when you close it, the button goes through the hole, and that's how it stays on. So there's your closure right there, which I'll turn it over so the heart's upright instead of upside down. So anyway, it's about the size of a child's bracelet, which is okay because I need to make some child's bracelets. But this is what the loom looks like put together. Now, you do have to assemble it, but they send you really good instructions. They send everything you need to make all of these bracelets. And they send you plastic beads, which is fine. I generally don't make my jewelry with plastic beads, but they're good for practicing and for making myself some. They also send you very clear instructions on how to use your loom. So, with that being said, it's together because, of course, I was using it last night. And they also send you this, which is for keeping your beads in. And they come down this, and they're easier to get onto your cord for wrapping your. But I'm a klutz. And I knocked this thing over about 4 times last night before I decided I wasn't using it. So, while some of y'all might be fine with that, I am not. So, I got my bead mat out. And that's what I'm keeping my beads on. Now, I'm going to do one, and I'm going to get this instruction out real quick because I want to see the pattern. But I'm going to work on making this one here. Not the bottom one, but the one with the pink and the blue. And so we've got our pink beads. We've got our green beads, and we've got our blue beads, and that's what we're going to use. So, and I'm hoping to make this one to fit me. I kind of messed up when I was measuring this out. This is the cord for the length of your bracelet. You're supposed to put multiple knots in the end so that you have the ability to extend the bracelet. I'm only going to have room for one of those knot closures because when I was doing it, I measured it for my wrist and doubled that. So 8 inches for my wrist, so 16 because you double your cord. And then I thought, well, I'll leave an extra 6 inches so I have enough room to do my end knots for the closure. And I should have left 12 because by the time I doubled it over, it only left me 3 inches to do my knot. So it'll be 1 knot. But that's okay. It's for me. If it fits me, then I only need 1 knot anyway. So that's how I'm hoping happens. Oh, there's a couple more in there. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do, this is your weaving string. And this is your cord. So you're going to take your cord. You take your button, which I'm going to use this button here, this blue one. And you're going to take the cord through either side of your button. If I can get it in there. Oh, let me put my glasses on, guys. I had them out and didn't put them on. There, that's much better. See what I'm doing. Now I'm going to put this cord through the button. I'm going to wet that in a little bit. It's a little bit frayed. Like, snip that a little bit. The end's a little frayed from where I cut it. I'm going to cut it on a little bit of an angle and hopefully get that to be a blunt end. My scissors aren't great for this. I need better scissors. This is going to make it a little bit shorter, but it should still be okay. And they send you the buttons, they send you the beads, they send you 5 buttons, which says to make 5 bracelets. And last night I got this through here just fine, and tonight it doesn't want to do it, of course. Okay, there we go. And you're just going to take it through, and I'm going to put this through both holes. Since I've got an end that's going to work for that right now. Hopefully. Of course, I'm trying to do this for y'all, so it's going to mess it up. Last night it was no issue at all. Just went right on through there. There we go. Okay. So, just put the thread through the cord through your button. And then you want to slide your button down until your thread ends are even. So you want it centered. So I'm going to grab the ends of my cords together, and then I'm just going to slide this down. There. So now you got it centered. You got your ends together. What you're going to do, you're going to tie a knot down here at your button. You're going to take it. You want to get it right up against the button too, which I got chunky fingers, so that's sometimes easier said than done. But I'm going to slide that down more to the end of the button. Okay, so you've got your knot right there up against your button, which is exactly what you want. You want that to stay in place. Alright, and then you're going to measure around your wrist. You want to see where to tie off your knots. You're going to tie 2 knots, one on each side of where you want your button to go through. So you want to make sure you're going to tie it off right where it's going to fit your wrist. Once you've got that measured, you're just going to tie your first knot. You're going to measure out the width of your bead first, though, because you want to know where you need that knot to be. And you're just going to take it, and you're just going to tie 1 knot and pull it nice and tight. And then you're going to measure it again and make sure that's in the right spot. And if it's not, you can just loosen it up and slide it up or down and adjust where that first knot is. Because you want it to be at the beginning of your button. I've got to move mine down just a little bit. And now that that's smoothed down, I'm going to measure my button again. I want the other knot on the other side of the button, and I want it to be just a little bit wider than the button, not so much that the button's going to fall out of there when you're wearing it, but you want to be able to slide it through there without struggling too much. So you're going to tie off your other knot. Now I didn't give myself a lot of room, so it's going to be a little bit fidgety for me. I'm going to measure and make sure I've got that in the right spot as well. Okay, now that we've got all our knots tied, and you can see the 2 knots there, and in between those is where the button's going to go through. So that will be your closure right there. Now that we've got that done, and it's nice and secure, we'll make sure the knots are tight. We're going to go ahead and get our loom loaded up. Now we're going to take this end of the button end, and we're going to slide the knot right behind where it opens up. You just press that and it opens, and you slide it in and let it go, and it'll hold it in place. And then this slides back and forth so you can hold some tension on your bracelet. But first you want to slide this in behind that first knot, and that will hold it in place. And then you just slide it back. This has got some teeth to it on the bottom part, so it just hooks right in there. But you want to make sure you don't have your cord twisted like I did. You want to make sure it's nice and straight. And then load it in there and just pull back on it and give it a little tilt up, and it'll catch on those little teeth and it'll hold it nice and tight for you. Now you can see the teeth there. Now I'm going to apologize ahead of time if this is a little hard to see. But this is my thread. And you're just going to follow the instructions on how to get your thread started. It's really, they do a great job of giving you the instructions on it. So you're going to place your thread over your cord and make sure your ends are even. And I know you can't see it, but I'm just stretching it up to make sure my ends are even. And then you're going to just weave through here to anchor it. You're just going to take each end and go around your cord. Of course, in the beginning it's a little bit long, so I'm getting stuck on things, but that's okay. And get this other side and do the same thing. Preferably with not getting stuck on everything, but hey, it's me, so of course I'm getting stuck on things. And you want to slide that all the way back. Make sure your ends are still even. And adjust them if they are not, which mine were not. I'm just moving the thread through and getting it evened out, because that's important. You don't want to run out on one side. Okay, so we are ready to start actually weaving. So the first bead on this is going to be one of the beige beads. So we're just going to put it on the thread and let it fall down to our cord. And then we're going to take our other side of our thread and pass it through the bead where we just came out with our first thread. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure your thread's going over your cord, not under. Once you've got that through, you're just going to pull both ends and lay it down in between your cords. And when you first start, it's not going to want to stay in there, but as you get some in, a few rows done, then it'll start staying in place a lot better. So for the first beginning, you're just going to have to make sure you get it laid in there. Now you're going to thread it through. You're going to go underneath and back up and around on each side with your thread. Now the next one is going to be 4 blue beads, which is going to be 2 sets of 2. So we're going to drop 2 of the blue beads on our thread. And we're going to let them slide down. And here in a second, I'm going to realize I put this through the wrong side of the beads. So I need to flip those beads over. And it's easy to tell when you haven't done it right. They just won't lay right. So here we are. I'm bringing it down. They're not laying right. So that's an example of what not to do. I'm just going to take them back off there. And I'm going to flip the bead over. I just took the one side out. And I'm going to flip the beads over so that the side I came out is facing the other side. And you're going to take your thread and pass it through where you came out. So basically you're bringing it down your thread, flipping the side you came out to face the thread you want to bring through it again on the other side. So you're just crossing your threads all the way through this. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, this does come with really good instructions. So now you can see that's laid in there. Now you want to go under on each side so that it wraps around it. I'm going to wrap it around each side of your cord with your threads. And this part's really important. It's what's going to hold your beads in place. So try not to forget that. I do sometimes. And like I said, you can just tell because your beads don't lay right. And you can go back and fix it. It's not a big deal. Just got to be patient with yourself. And usually once you get into a groove, it goes pretty easy and pretty quickly. So I've got that through there. Now you see I'm flipping it over. So I want to cross that over to the other side. And then I'm going to take my other thread end and pass it through those beads. Now I've got to hold them in place, so you're not going to be able to see that part. But I'm just passing that thread through both those beads, starting with the end I just came out of. So the side you just brought the thread out of is the side you want to go back through with the other thread. And then you're just going to pull it so that they lay in between the cord pieces again. Just adjust them, because at this point they're not wanting to lay in there completely. By the time we get the next set in, they should stay in place a lot better. But now you can see that's the pattern. So now it's going to be another beige. I'm just checking the pattern there. We're going to do another beige. Or cream, whatever you want to call that color. And I forgot to weave, guys. So, and after I just got done saying don't forget to weave, I forgot to weave. So we're going to weave it. And put that beige on one end. And just let it drop down. We're going to cross it over. Grab the end of our other thread. And pass it back through this bead. And then pull it on both ends so that it lays in there. And I'm trying to show you the weaving process here. So you're just going to take it under and around, and then do the same thing with the other side. And if you forget and your beads aren't laying right, like I said, just take them off, go back and fix it. It happens. Now we want to do 4 of the pink beads. Oh, it's going to be 2 sets of 2. So I'm going to drop 2 pink beads on here. And let it drop down. Cross them over and take the other end and pass it through. And just pull it tight. And at this point, it's starting to automatically just lay in place. So it's getting easier. Now, I'm going to continue this pattern. I'm going to weave. I'm going to do 2 more pinks. Then I'm going to do a beige, 2 blue, do the 4 blue, and just continue with this pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and speed the process up for you so you don't have to sit here through about 30 minutes of weaving. Okay, so we've got just about all the beads on this. We're at the very end of it. You can see the pattern there. And I've got that little space left. So I'm going to actually I've got enough room to do another set of pink, another beige bead, a set of blue, and a beige bead. So that's what we're going to do. Now, as you can see, my thread's gotten pretty short. Used almost all of it up. So this gets a little bit more fiddly for me. My hands don't like to get in the small areas. But we make it work. I'm just going to tuck that back there out of my way. And we're going to get our 2 pink beads. And put them on here. Just going to cross them over. Grab the other end of our thread. Try not to get them tangled up. And we're going to pass them back through there. I was wanting to go through one bead and not the other. So I'm just having to fiddle with it a little bit and get it in there. I'm going to go ahead and finish these sets up real quick. And come right out of it. Just going to make sure we do the weaving part. And I actually did it wrong on that side. It went over instead of under. You want to make sure you go under your cord and around it. Just going to drop our last 2 pink beads on here and just repeat our process of letting them drop, folding it over, and then weaving through with our other end of our thread. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better now that I'm a little closer to the camera on this end. And now we're going to do the 1 beige bead. And this is a little easier to feed through because you're just putting it through 1 bead instead of 2. We're just going to feed that through. If I can get a hold of this thread right. This space is getting a little bit tight for me. And pull that through, make sure our beads are laying correctly. And it's always good to check them before you're getting ready to knot off at the end, in case you've missed any places with the weaving technique. You want to make sure all your beads are laying properly. And this is getting too close for me, so I'm going to relax this a little bit. And I'm actually going to give myself some more working room by moving this down instead of having it right behind that first knot, right in front of that first knot. I'm going to move it down and put the second knot there. Just give myself a little bit more room to work. Now it doesn't hold it as straight, it wants to turn a little bit, so you've got to be a bit more careful if you're going to do this at the end. You don't want it to twist and mess up how your beads are laying. So we're going to weave. And do our 4 blue and 1 more beige and come right back. Okay, so we've got that all weaved, and you can see it's got the pattern all the way through it, and I think it looks kind of pretty, but we're going to knot this off now. So we're going to weave underneath one more time, just so we've got it nice and secure on our bracelet. I've got to turn this a little bit, guys. Sorry, I know it makes it harder for you to see it, but I need to get it close enough to me so I can get it through there. Now, we're going to tie, you can tie off just 2 or 3 basic knots. I'm going to do 3. You can do the surgeon's knot if you want to, but basic knots will hold it just fine. There's 2, 1 more knot. I've seriously got to think about doing my knots in 3s. And I'm going to grab my B7000 because I like the nozzle tip better on that one. It's easier for me to control. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that knot so it holds it secure and it doesn't come undone later. You don't have to do this part, but it gives it a little bit more security. So I usually go ahead and put the glue on there. And then I'm going to grab my scissors and just cut off any excess. I want to get as close to the knot as I can, but leave a little bit of a tail just so it doesn't come undone. If you get too close to the knot, it could untie. And that glue really won't take very long to dry at all. So we'll just give that a moment and relax the bracelet a little bit. And I really do like this little loom. And I mean, I can't wait to get some more different color cords and weaving string so that I can try this with different beads. And I want to make up my own patterns with it and just have some fun with it. I'm going to love this, using this thing. Now you can see this, it's done. And this is what it'll look like once it's on. Okay, so there it is on. I edited out my struggle of putting it on because I'm terrible at putting these on one-handed. But you can see, I think it's really pretty. And there is the button clasp on the back. Now I haven't trimmed off this edge yet, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to burn the edge a little bit with a lighter, just to keep it from fraying. So, get this off me. I'm almost as bad getting it off as I am getting it on. But it'll just push right through there. There we go. And just grab the scissors, and I'm going to cut this down and just leave just a little bit of a tail. And then I'm going to take my lighter, and be careful with this part. You don't want to burn yourself, but just touch it real easy in a short little burst on the edge, and it'll burn those ends, and that way they won't fray. and you can't really see it, but it's burnt and it's done. But there you go, guys. There's one little bracelet, and the actual weaving process probably took me about 30 to 35 minutes, which this is only my second bracelet, so that wasn't too bad. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon.